them decide what's going on and what we need to change, and we'll see if we can figure it out later.
Indeed. You want to handle the intro?
I will. Here in the bottom left of Expedition LE, we have the teal/blue Zerg T-Swizzle, also known as Warren. And in the top right of Expedition Lost, we have the purple Terran, sporting the ever-popular Royal Purple, is coLqxc.
Honestly, purple is my favorite color since I started playing StarCraft.
It is very nice. It stands out well. I think yellow is my favorite, though, just because it really shows up well on the map, which maybe is something you don't want if you're trying to be sneaky with things, but anyway, yellow is nice. So, let's see if Warren decides to go for that 15 hatch again. He did pretty well against the Reaper open harass that coLqxc threw his way. I think he's probably going to feel comfortable enough to get that macro advantage up early, not worry so much about getting the spawning pool first. We'll have to see what he does, though.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see if these guys go for essentially the same build order. Zerg vs. Terran, let's be honest, it doesn't change that much. It hasn't changed that much. In Brood War, it was all about the mutiling bling. In Wings of Liberty, it was all about the mutiling bling. Well, Infestor Brood Lord was there too. But in Heart of the Swarm, what's it all about?
For TVZ?
Zerg vs. Terran, mutiling bling.
Yeah, pretty much. Mutiling bling, depending on what you see from the Terran. If it is mech, that's not as effective a composition, but...
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be mutiling bling against those bio units all day, every day.
Actually, mech, really the popular choice here. What are your thoughts on mech? Why do people do it? Why do they enjoy it so much?
So again, it's just the cost effectiveness of mech. You can get those big Thors right up in front, absorbing a ton of damage before they die, dealing out the damage, splash to the air, tons of damage to the ground, and it just takes forever for them to die. It seems like tanks as well have their range. Splash damage against Zerg is excellent because Zerg units do tend to splash up. And with also the support of the Banshees overhead, that can be difficult for Zerg players to deal with. It's just pretty much a combination of stuff that Zerg players hate to see all mashed into one giant ball and thrown at their face.
Indeed, but it comes at a cost, right?
It does, absolutely. It is more expensive than just the bio units that we used to see a lot in the TVZ matchup.
Harder to take a third, harder to be mobile, you can't harass as easily. There are downsides to it. So we'll see which playstyle coLqxc chooses, and of course it's the Zerg's job to react.
Absolutely the truth. It's been that way ever since Wings of Liberty, and really even in Brood War. Just the ability to react to what your opponent is going to do as a Zerg is of the paramount importance.
Well, we did have a fast expand here, so it looks like coLqxc could, in theory, be going for yet another mech style. You see a lot of players going for the mech after the fast expand, and the fact that he is getting these Marines to patrol everywhere. He wants to hide some kind of information.
Absolutely true. The third base in response for T-Swizzle coming on up. He knows the fast expand for Terran means there's not going to be any crazy pressure anytime soon. He gets that third base up feeling very, very safe at this point.
Beast in the chat channel asking why we chose Warren. To be honest, we didn't have much heads up. coLqxc was the one to let us know about 30 minutes ahead of time that Petraeus was not going to be able to make it. So I contacted everyone I knew who had ever been GM and was a Zerg.
And Warren came out, so...
Yes, so big thank you to Warren.
Absolutely. Alright, so we have a Creep Queen on its way here. Spreading creep on this map is so important, just because that third base is a little bit far away for Zerg players. The Queens take forever to get there. Responding on that creep is so much easier than responding off creep, so we'll have to see if we get a Creep Queen, or just one for... Yes, a Creep Queen as well as one for the macro at that third base.
Indeed, we've got... Yes, sir. Oh, big bunker going down here on the natural of Swizzle. We'll see if this is just intended for the Marines here. Is it this just to split up the third base from the natural, or is this, you know, just to buy some time, because he is trying to get that starport up, and if he can get some Banshees in after bruising these Queens so heavily, this could look really bad for Warren.
It could. Oh, and the SCV got inside the bunker at the last second with 5 hit points. He is still alive. He's there to repair the bunker, which is so important for the Terran player. Pretty much, if that bunker can stay alive, it's going to mean a lot of harassment for Warren. And it looks like, actually, the SCV is abandoning that bunker as a couple of Hellions is coming in to supply some defense as well, or some offense, rather.
And we've got an Armory coming up very fast here for coLqxc. He is going for a Hell Battle run.
It very much looks like it. We have the Hellbats out, trying to break down that bunker. Are some Zerglings, are a couple Queens. Is it enough to get through the HP of that bunker? And yes, it is. The Marines smartly move away. These Slowlings get roasted up by the Hellions. There are 4 at the front door, moving right on up into the natural. There's a single Queen to defend against this. I don't know if this is going to end out well at all for Warren.
No, this is looking very bad right now. 17 drones lost, 14 lings lost. So many larvae have been destroyed by QXC in this game.
It's just, more and more drones going down at the main. The Queens doing their best with their fat little butts to chase around these Hellions, but they're just not fast enough. Do manage to pick off one, but more and more Hellions streaming on across the map here. Another one joining up with his buddies. There are now 3 Queens, though. And here comes some Speedlings to try to chase these guys away. Slowlings, rather. They don't have the speed upgrade yet. And they do manage to pick down a single Hellion. There are only 3 more left in this army with 1 more to reinforce. Is Warren going to be able to stabilize is the question.
Well, let's think about this. He has lost literally 29 larvae. So that is essentially like 5 production cycles worth of units. But QXC's attack came at a cost. Even though it came at a cost, QXC's up 11 workers. Honestly, Warren is going to have to catch QXC with his pants down to get back into this game.
He is. He does have Banelings defending here at the ramp to his natural. He's pretty much sacking the 3rd base here. He recognizes, I can't defend this. There's a Banshee. There are Hellbats transforming. And the Banshee even has Cloak chasing away that Queen. Here come the Banelings, though. What are they going to do besides get killed by this Banshee? I don't know. Banshee moving on in, and there is an Overseer that pops out. Banshee does need to get out. It does not manage to escape in time. It falls to the ground in a burning heap. And here come the Queens and the Banelings to try to save this 3rd base. Again, Hellbats do a lot of damage with the fire to light units, but not so much to buildings.
Alright, so the Banelings actually being pretty useful here. They're not being cost effective against the Hellbats, but at this point, cost efficiency is not the goal. Staying alive is.
It is. 4 more Hellions running on into the natural here, though. Do get caught by a few Zerglings, but they are Slowlings, again, pulling drones to box in these Hellions. It does sacrifice drones, but it means the Hellions can't escape, although one does manage to escape, but does get trapped up against the Extractor and destroyed. So, we'll have to see how long this Hellion pressure continues. There are 4 more ready to go in the base of QXC, but it looks like he has stopped producing Hellions at this point.
Well, at this point, QXC, he's getting the Thors. He is kind of anticipating a fast Mutalisk play because that's Swizzle's only... Yep, there it is, Spire. Yep. And there's the scan.
The perfect scan. He scans it the second it goes down, and Warren recognizes what's going to happen and calls the GG.
Yeah, that scan ended the game, guys. Like, that was no joke. Spire was his only option, and QXC was ready for it.
He was. He knew exactly what Warren had to do to win that game, scanned it out, was prepared for it, and Warren said, okay, that's it. Let's move on to game 3.
Well, we saw an amazing game out of Warren in the first match. Has QXC found his number and just tearing him apart now, or was that a fluke?
It's really hard to say at this point. I mean, the read by Warren was good. He did recognize the fast expand there from QXC. He just wasn't prepared for those Hellions. I think maybe a Scouting Overlord doing something to be prepared for exactly what was coming out of there. He could have been ready for those Hellions. He could have been able to manage it, but he just wasn't quite ready. Pants were down, and all those drones died, and that was it.
Indeed, my friend, indeed. So this is already 2-0 right now, QXC's lead. This looking a little bit scary for Warren, but again, we saw a great match. These guys are both high level. Like, let's be honest, Falcon, could you take a game off Warren? I couldn't.
No, absolutely not.
So I hear everybody in chat, yes, Warren is not Petraeus. We understand that, guys. I wanted to get you some of the best players out there. I did my best. First it was Major versus Petraeus. Major couldn't make it. I got QXC instead. Anyone saying he's a washed up has-been? Maybe, but could you beat him? That's a great question. He's still a great player, and that's what we're here for. We're trying to be here for the entertainment, for the value. I'm sorry it's not what we had expected, but we're trying to make the best of it. So my apologies to everybody. If any blame has to go on anybody, it is on Malcolm Shaft Heath, no one else.
All right, if we can get you to join up, we'll get going as QXC and Warren are both ready to go.
Let's do this.
All right, so both players have said they're ready. Let's go ahead and get game 3 started.
I'd rather swim in crystal seas. My battery's been running low. I need to take it nice and slow for just a while. You won't be hearing about my weather, and you won't see my breakfast pics. Videos of kitty cats all gussied up in pretty hats. You'll have to wait. I hope it's not a tragedy.